40,000 years ago, on an island that would one day be called Flores, rain began to fall. Not just any rain, but the kind of torrential downpour that strips away secrets hidden for millennia. The water ran red that day, washing ancient ochre from stone walls deep within a limestone cave. What if those crimson streams could speak of the hands that painted these walls so long ago? The artists were not quite human, at least not like us, standing barely 3 feet tall. They were Homo floresiensis, the so-called hobbits of the ancient world, island voyagers from another time. How did these tiny humans reach this remote island across miles of open ocean? The rain continued to fall, revealing layer after layer of their forgotten story in stone. These were not primitive beings stumbling through darkness, but skilled navigators who conquered the sea. They had arrived here perhaps 100,000 years ago, when the ocean was a different beast. The waters between islands were lower then, but still deep enough to swallow the unwary whole. Yet somehow, these small humans built rafts or boats and set sail into the unknown horizon. Think about that courage for a moment, launching into endless blue with no certainty of land. The island they found was a world unto itself, populated by giants and dragons made real. Komodo dragons the size of crocodiles ruled the beaches, their forked tongues tasting the air for prey. Stegodon elephants, shrunken by island life but still massive, thundered through forests of unfamiliar trees. Giant rats the size of modern dogs scurried through undergrowth that had never known a human footprint. This was not paradise, but a crucible where evolution worked its strange and terrible magic. The first voyagers who stepped onto these shores faced a choice: adapt to this alien world or perish. Over thousands of generations, their bodies changed, shrinking to match the island's limited resources. Their brains grew smaller too, yet they retained the spark of consciousness, the need to create. In the caves where they sheltered from storms like this one, they mixed ochre with water and blood. What compelled them to paint their stories on stone that would outlast their bones? By 40,000 years, the rain washing the cave walls today reveals handprints no bigger than a modern child's palm. Each print was deliberate, placed with intention, a signature saying simply, "We were here. We existed." They painted animals they hunted, dwarf elephants with tusks like curved memories of larger ancestors. They painted the sun and what might be boats, those vessels that brought them across impossible waters. But most of all, they painted themselves, small figures standing against the vastness of their island universe. Can you imagine the loneliness of being the only humans on an island for 1,000 generations? They had no contact with other human species, no trade, no exchange of ideas or genes. While Homo sapiens conquered continents, Floresiensis remained here, perfecting the art of island survival. They crafted stone tools so small that modern archaeologists initially mistook them for children's practice pieces. Yet these miniature blades could butcher a stegodon or carve wood into spears sharp enough to pierce scales. Fire was their constant companion, the flickering light that kept the dragons at bay through endless nights. In this cave where rain now washes ochre away, they gathered around flames telling stories we'll never hear. Perhaps they spoke of the voyage that brought them here, a legend passed down through countless retellings. Or maybe they had forgotten the mainland entirely, believing this island was the entire world. The ochre on these walls was not mere decoration, but a desperate attempt to leave something permanent behind. Every human who has ever lived shares the same deep need to be remembered after death. As the rain intensifies, more paintings emerge from beneath millennia of accumulated limestone deposits. Here, the outline of a hand raised in greeting or farewell, frozen in red earth and time. There, what might be a star map, though the constellations have shifted since these artists lived. The storm outside grows stronger, and water cascades through cracks that weren't here 40,000 years ago. Time itself is the greatest artist, constantly repainting the world with wind and water and patient stone. The Floresiensis people survived here for almost 100,000 years, longer than our species has existed. What finally ended their remarkable story was not predation or starvation, but something far more violent. 12,000 years ago, the volcanic heart of this island chain exploded with unimaginable force. The eruption would have been visible from space, a pillar of fire reaching toward the ancient stars. Ash fell like snow for weeks, burying forests, filling caves, choking the life from everything it touched. The small people who had survived giant lizards in isolation could not survive the Earth's own fury. Or could they have somehow endured, leaving descendants who walked among us until historical times? Local legends speak of tiny people living in the forests, the gogo who stole food and spoke in whispers. Not just folklore, but memories perhaps, passed down from ancestors who saw the last of Floresiensis. What if somewhere on this island, in caves not yet discovered, their paintings wait in patient darkness? The rain continues its archaeological work, dissolving minerals that have hidden truths for 400 centuries. Each drop carries away a few more molecules of the past, revealing and destroying simultaneously. This is the paradox of discovery. To uncover ancient secrets, we must watch them slowly disappear. The ochre that runs red in today's storm will never again mark these particular cave walls. But in its flowing, it tells us something profound about the nature of human existence itself. We are all temporary, our lives mere flickers against the vast darkness of geological time. Yet we paint, we carve, we build, we write, desperate to leave some mark that says we mattered. The Floresiensis artists couldn't have known that their ochre would outlast their entire species by millennia. They painted not for us, but for themselves, for their children, for gods we can't imagine. Do you ever wonder what traces of our own civilization will remain 40,000 years from now? The storm is passing now, and sunlight breaks through clouds to illuminate the cave's painted walls. In this light, the ochre seems to glow with an inner fire, as if the artists just stepped away. Their handprints overlap in places, generations of small humans adding their mark to the collective memory. Some prints are crisp and clear, made yesterday in deep time. Others are ghosts, barely visible. The youngest prints might be 12,000 years old, made just before the volcanic winter came. Perhaps a child stood here, small even by Floresiensis standards, pressing their hand against cool stone. Their parent mixed the ochre with care, the same recipe passed down since the first island voyagers. Together they created this moment, frozen now, a conversation between past and present written in earth. The water has washed clean a section of wall, revealing something extraordinary beneath the ochre. Carved into the limestone itself are older markings, geometric patterns that predate the paintings by thousands of years. These patterns spiral and intersect in ways that suggest not just decoration but meaning, perhaps even counting. The Floresiensis people were not just artists but mathematicians, tracking something important enough to carve in stone. Seasons perhaps, or tides, or the generations since their ancestors first saw this island's shores. The carvings tell us that consciousness, that spark that makes us human, burned bright in these small beings. They looked at the stars and wondered, just as we do, what their place in the cosmos might be. The rain has stopped completely now, and silence fills the cave like water filling an ancient pool. This is the same silence they knew, broken only by dripping water and the distant sound of waves. Outside, the modern world continues its relentless pace, but here time moves differently, more honestly. The ochre-stained water pools at the cave's entrance, red as blood, red as the earth's iron heart. In a few hours, it will dry, leaving only a faint stain that tomorrow's rain will wash away. But the paintings inside, protected from direct water, will endure for centuries or millennia more. Scientists will come with their careful brushes and cameras, documenting what the rain revealed today. They will take samples of ochre, analyze its composition, date its age with radiocarbon precision, They will publish papers and give lectures about the cognitive capabilities of Homo floresiensis. But they will never truly know what it felt like to be 3 feet tall on an island of giants. They will never know the terror of hearing a dragon's approach or the joy of a successful hunt. All we have are these handprints, these paintings, these messages from the deepest well of time. The sun sets now, painting the cave walls gold and red, nature's ochre replacing the humankind. Tomorrow, tourists might come to see the ancient art, snapping photos with phones the artists couldn't dream of. Yet in their wonder, in their need to document and share, they echo those ancient artists exactly. We are all the same species in the end, whether tall or small, ancient or modern. We all want to leave something behind that says we lived, we loved, we tried to understand. What will you leave behind when your own brief moment in the sun has passed into shadow? The cave grows dark, but the paintings remain, waiting for tomorrow's light to make them glow again. 40,000 years from now, will someone stand here wondering about us the way we wonder about them? The rain will fall again, as it always has, washing ochre from stone, carrying the past into tomorrow's sea.